Welcome to the Gastlecast. I'm Chris.
I'm Heather.
Heather, we love all of our Funko Pops just the same, except for Fruit Pie Magician. Oh my god. I often think about 3 Funko items that we have in our collection that I just could not live without. If the entire house burned down right now,
Please don't
God
say that.
forbid.
Please don't say that. I don't want to talk about the house burning down.
Have you ever thought about if we had to get rid of all of our collectibles, what 3 collectibles that are Funko related that you would keep?
Yeah, you mean like when we have a flood in our basement and I told you to keep the pops away from the window that flooded and you said, "Oh, we're fine now. I don't need to do that." And then the window flooded and got some of our good pops.
I picked 3 that you'll never believe that I actually picked. Because you probably thought I picked my James Gunn. You probably think I picked my Signed Spider-Man. Although, Signed Spider-Man would definitely be number 1. I decided to keep it off this list because that's one everybody would think I would jump on first.
So what you're saying is you have 5, but you're only putting 3 in this video because you know that you're predictable.
Well, when you put it that way, yes. Let's start off with your first pick.
My first pick is a very special one because you got it for me with the help of me.
Pat yourself on the back much?
Huh?
If you remember, I got in the car and I drove really fast and dangerously so I could get my hands on this.
No, you didn't. You drive like a grandmother.
Oh, yes, I did. I did 60 and a 55, baby. It was hardcore.
Is it weird that I'm sort of turned on by that?
Me too.
It is the Grady Twins chase.
Yes, I love these. This is probably the best find I've ever hunted, and I couldn't believe I found them. Well, I started in one store, and then I called you, and I had found the regular one damaged, and I walked out crying and wiping my tears away. And I called you, and you said, try this other store. So I got in the car, and I zoomed all the way out there, and wouldn't you know it, there it was. And I remember it was 2 commons, and then this one. And I grabbed every single Grady Twins that they had, and I ran to the front with them in excitement, and only ended up buying this one and a regular one because it had no damage. My first one is this Loki from Thor Ragnarok. It came in the Marvel Collector box for the Thor Ragnarok film. This is probably my very favorite Loki that they've released. I love the big helmet that they put on him. I loved his little knives. He's actually one of my top 5 favorites in my Marvel collection. I just love this pop. I can't say enough good about him.
He is really cool. My next one is really special for multiple reasons. It was a gift from our good friend Bobby, and I took it to get it signed by the actor that played this character, Robert Englund.
I remember when you started collecting and you first saw this pop, you wanted it really bad, but we weren't really willing to spend the money on it because he went for like $60 to $70 at one point. I don't know where he is now. I remember Bobby gave it to you and you were so excited about it, and we went to Monster Mania and we were able to meet Robert Englund and you got it signed. And I remember that you told him what to write on this box, and he said it out loud and he sounded exactly like Freddy. I thought that was awesome.
Well, yeah, he is Freddy.
No, I know he's Freddy, but he did it in like the Freddy voice and stuff. It was kind of cool.
I'm gonna tell you something about Robert Englund. He's really Freddy.
You mean in like real life?
Yes.
He's Freddy. So he has you believing that he's really Freddy.
I don't think he actually stops being Freddy. I think that he plays Robert Englund.
I honestly don't know what to say.
It's weird because upon meeting him, like, he didn't have the makeup on or anything, but you just know that he is Freddy Krueger. It's really bizarre. It's hard to explain. That's the only way I can explain it, but even when he wasn't doing the voice, you're like, that's Freddy Krueger.
We'll try to remember his other great acting roles, Heather. Outside the Nightmare on Elm Street films where he played Freddy, what other great films is he in?
He played in the original A Star is Born as an uncredited character named Marty.
That was a classic role that he played there.
He was in one episode of Charlie's Angels in 1980.
How could I forget? That was the best episode of Charlie's Angels.
Yeah, he was Harold Belkin.
He was Harold Belkin? Oh, you didn't have to say that. I already remember that. What is it? What?
As one of my favorite horror films and one of the very first, like, true horror films that I ever watched, it meant a lot to me to meet him and have him sign this pop.
The next one for me is Unmasked Captain America. Did I ever tell you that Unmasked Captain America in the MCU films is the best Captain America? When he puts on the weird helmet, I always think he looks ridiculous. But when he's unmasked, that's my Cap. So I obtained this cap at a Comic-Con in a really fouled up box. The box looked like it had been stomped on. There was a booger on the inside of the window. At least it looked like a booger. So I ended up tracking down a brand new box for him. I put the pop inside of the brand new box that I received. And look at him. Doesn't he look great?
He looks good as new.
He's so awesome. I love this pop. He's a ToyMatrix.com exclusive. What is ToyMatrix.com?
I have no idea.
I particularly love the suit that this Captain America wears, the stealth suit in the Winter Soldier film. This set, the Captain America Winter Soldier set, I've said time and time again, is my top favorite MCU Funko collection that I own. I love them all so much. I think they all look so great. I love the Winter Soldiers and everything. But this one is definitely my top out of all of them, even outside of the glow-in-the-dark one. Which, by the way, isn't that weird that Captain America glows in the dark?
Yeah.
I mean, I love it. He's a great pop, but he glows in the dark. Like, what's that?
Maybe he was running really fast. When you create a lot of energy, you light up.
If there were something bad going on in this house, Heather, you bet your bottom dollar you'd find my nude body huddled over this thing. Picture that.
I'd rather not.
I'm telling them, you... What?
Last but not least, I've talked about this one a lot lately,
Oh my god.
but it's my favorite pop.
This is why I didn't pick Spider-Man, because it's like you pick the same thing over and over again.
It's my favorite and I should be able to brag about it.
Oh god. Okay, go ahead.
So, I'm going to tell you guys a little story
We've heard a million times.
that we've heard so many times
In different iterations.
about the day that Chris and I got engaged.
I want to go back and count the amount of videos that we've talked about this pop and the story.
It's probably been about like 22. We were in New Jersey, away from home, of course, and normally we DVR The Walking Dead, and after about 20 or so minutes, we go back and watch The Walking Dead and skip through all the commercials. But this particular night, we couldn't do that because we weren't at home, so we were watching it live, and thank goodness we were. Because Chris Hardwick announced that they were coming out with a Funko Pop of him. Chris Hardwick said if you order a t-shirt, you have a chance of getting 1 out of 100 signed Chris Hardwick Funko Pops.
Very exciting.
And when Chris got the small shirt that he ordered for me as a gift on our engagement night,
Huh?
this also came with it.
That's right.
My Chris Hardwick.
I got lucky that night, and then I got lucky later when the t-shirt came in.
Okay. This one's really, really special to me because of the story that goes along with it. And I'm actually really disappointed in you that you didn't pick this pop too.
I did! So my number one... No, it's not. My number one is super special. And can I tell you why?
Sure.
Thank you. So my number one is one that I received from Marvel Collector Corps when I won Fan of the Week back in August of 2017. They sent me a little box in the mail for being their Fan of the Week. And when I opened it, to my surprise, there was a Vulture Proto, which is awesome. And aside from that was this item. Now, what was cool about that was in my write-up, I actually stated that this was something that I wanted. This is not a pop.
What?
It is a 500-piece item from New York Comic Con. I told them that my favorite character was Thanos. Now, this is before Infinity War and before Endgame, before Thanos was all over the place pop and Dorbs and everything else wise. They sent me the Thanos XL Dorbs. When it was 500 count, I didn't think I'd ever get it. I thought it would release, it would be eaten up, people would want it, and I would never have my chance to get it. Well, this guy has kind of hung around like $100 and some. And I think the reason is because it's Dorbs. But I love this Thanos. I was so excited they sent it to me because they usually only send you a proto. To throw in an extra item was so phenomenal. And I remember going back and watching our very first Gastlecast video and us opening that box. I was so much more excited about this than the Vulture Proto. I love this way more, and I still love it way more, and that's why it's my number one. If we had something happen to the house, I would be down here scooping this guy up before I would scoop up anything else. So you better save yourself.
I planned on it, and my Chris Hardwick.
Heather, I'll have you know, I found out he definitely doesn't kiss as good as you.
How do you know that?
Guys, what are the top 3 pops you can't live without? Let us know in the comment section down below. Remember, we hunt together, yes. We'll catch you next time.
Bye!
We hope that you enjoyed this episode of the Gastlecast. If so, please hit that subscribe button and check out some of our other fun content.
We've left you some links to some of our other videos that we thought you might like.
We'll catch you next time.
Bye!